Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official top 10 arenas for an NBA expansion team. We heard the news a few days ago, Adam Silver coming out saying, we're hoping for an expansion in 2025 or maybe 2026. I'm going to go through my top 10 best arenas based on, realistic possibilities for NBA expansion cities. But it's not just the city, it's do they have an arena? And before I go through my top 10, I do think if the NBA puts a team in Virginia, they would have to build a brand new arena. There's a few other places as well that would need a new arena, but to make it as seamless as possible, there are so many great arenas out there that right now are not hosting NBA basketball. So this is my top 10. Starting at number 10, it is the Honda Center. So I did a video a while ago on the Honda Center and called it one of the most irrelevant arenas in North America. And that's mainly because, the Anaheim Ducks, their situation, this is a stadium that needs renovations badly. It really reminds me of the Philadelphia 76ers Wells Fargo Center before they got the renovations and the new seats. This stadium is in desperate need of an upgrade, and the reason it's at number 10 is because there's a few rumors that maybe the NBA goes to Anaheim. It is a big market, another team in California that would be attractive in terms of TV ratings, but this arena, I feel like it's going to completely deter the NBA from considering Anaheim as a legit option. It's just far too old, and it does need renovations. I did see some renderings of some exterior renovations, but the stadium just still looks really old and dated to me, even if they put those renovations in place there. So the Honda Center in Anaheim, California comes in at number 10. For me, at number 9, it is VIDEOTRON Center in Quebec City, Canada. So it is the discussion, would the NBA consider another team in Canada? There's pros and cons to it. There is a demand, but you're also going to detract some fans from the Raptors to whichever that team is. So are you really getting more of a fan base? That is debatable. But when it comes to the VIDEOTRON Center, this arena was built specifically to attract an NHL team. Maybe they'll get one with the Coyotes, the Arizona Coyotes, possibly relocating there, but it seems unlikely right now. So Quebec City, could they be in line for an NBA team? Very futuristic, sweet design with this stadium. If you look at the interior, relatively new, really sleek white type silver exterior, but I do view Quebec City for NBA expansion as extremely unlikely. Right now, the arena sits without a true home, no NHL team, no NBA team, but it is beautiful. It's kind of in a weird state. It's like they built it for an NHL team, but that NHL team hasn't come just yet. At number 8, it is the Enterprise Center. So this is another relatively new arena, home of the St. Louis Blues. It is only an NHL arena, but it can very easily be converted to NBA like all of these. Very nice Jumbotron, very, good design overall going around. Futuristic looking exterior with glass. There's really nothing wrong with it. I would say, St. Louis getting an NBA team, a little bit far-fetched. They did lose the Rams back in 2015, so maybe there would be demand, and they go crazy about baseball. They're one of the best baseball towns, if not the best in America with the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals this year, they were 18 games under 500 in May, and they were getting crowds of 42K at Busch Stadium. They have really good fans. So the NBA might find that attractive. It's a relatively good metro size in terms of population. You could get a good, TV market with the ratings, and Enterprise Center is set up perfectly as a newer arena. It would be very solid for the NBA. It does have all of the standard newer features any stadium would need. At number 7, it is Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. Nashville being one of the most sexy cities for expansion in the MLB. But could they also look to the NBA? Bridgestone Arena, it's a two-sider. Number 1, I love the arena. It looks like a flying saucer. It looks like a UFO. But number 2, It did open in 1996. It does have a dated exterior with that glass. If they got an NBA team, there would have to be probably a $200 or $300 million renovation, I would say, but it has an amazing interior. One of the main problems that I have with these NHL and NBA arenas, the interiors of them all look the exact same. That is not the case with Bridgestone Arena. It is really, really cool. The upper deck doesn't go all the way around. It gives way to a big lower bowl on the one side. So it comes off very clean. It's just the exterior because it opened in the 90s. It is a little bit dated. Nashville, they've got that $2.2 billion huge NFL stadium coming in 2027. They're only going to be drawing more of a population, more events. That is a big achievement for a city. To get a $2 billion NFL stadium, I'm sure the NBA is on notice about that. I do think right now Nashville is in prime position to get an MLB expansion team over an NBA one. So I would say maybe the NBA could be a backup plan for Nashville, and I do love Bridgestone Arena. The only issue with it is a slightly dated exterior design. At number 6, it is the T-Mobile Center. This is located in Kansas City, Missouri. Very, very nice. Looks like all glass exterior circular design, relatively new arena. Checks all of the boxes. This is the arena that has been rumored. If Kansas City gets an NHL team, one of the main reasons will be because they have this arena that is ready to go, and it would also possibly attract an NBA team. When I look at the interior of this arena, it kind of reminds me of a mini Superdome. The Caesars Superdome. I don't know why. That's just the vibe I get from it. But it is very nice, and it was built with the idea it could host an NBA team if Kansas City gets one, or an NHL team. We'll have to see if it's able to host either one of those. I don't think Kansas City is going to get either, but we'll have to see. It is a very nice arena. At number 5, it is UBS Arena, the newest NHL arena. A beautiful brick exterior design, probably the best exterior in hockey, and then a very slick interior that reminds me of Little Caesars Arena. Overall, would the NBA really put 3 teams in New York? It's very unlikely, but it's not impossible. UBS Arena, home of the New York Islanders. It's beautiful, right? With it being the newest NHL arena, I have to throw it on this list. If an NBA team went in there, they would immediately have one of the best arenas for sure. At number 4, it is the KFC Yum Center in Louisville, Kentucky. So, Kentucky looking to get a professional sports franchise. They've got a stadium that's ready-made. One of the biggest arenas, whether it's NBA or college basketball in America. It seats over 20,000. It has a nice interior design. Very modern, relatively new. Very modern, very new. And overall just right up on the river. So the KFC Yum Center in a good location. Louisville has been one of the big 3 cities that I've speculated I think the NBA is zoning in on in a potential expansion scenario. The only big problem with Louisville, it's a smaller market, but I do think that could be offset by the crazy demand a professional sports team being in Louisville, Kentucky would bring, because that would be the only professional sports team in that state. It's the same idea with Virginia. Of course, a little bit harder with Virginia. They would most likely have to build a new arena, as opposed to the KFC Yum Center being ready-made. It can be shared between Louisville and an NBA team, and it is a very nice exterior design as well. And then the top 3, at number 3, it is Climate Pledge Arena. The near $1 billion renovation to refurbish the stadium from the Key Arena to what it is today. The NHL team, Seattle Kraken, it is beautiful. And it is ready-made for the Supersonics to come back. Seattle right now, probably the number 1 betting favorite to get an NBA expansion franchise. It does have the dual little jumbotrons. That's a nice little futuristic thing about it right there. And then it does have the natural light window. When it comes to NBA arenas, this is one of the things I see them really implementing. Crypto.com Arena, the Lakers' home, is doing a renovation where they're taking off some seats in the upper deck and putting a big natural light window. This is the next step for NBA arenas, and Climate Pledge Arena already has it. So this is number 3 on the list. It makes the expansion to Seattle so seamless because it already is a great stadium that's had almost $1 billion invested into its renovation just a few years ago. It did finish. At number 2, it is T-Mobile Arena. So this arena, I guess you could consider it, kind of looks like one of those NFL super stadiums a little bit, kind of like an alien spaceship. It is beautiful. It's got an amazing exterior. This is Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the Golden Knights' home. Brand new, really, really nice, modern interior with the 2-deck approach. You've got enough suites. You've got everything that you would want. Las Vegas right now, probably the second betting favorite for an NBA expansion franchise, and this is part of the reason. Extremely easy to facilitate an expansion to Vegas because you have a ready-made, state-of-the-art NBA arena waiting for you. So it's going to come in at number 2. And then at number 1, it is probably the best arena right now in North America. It's the Rogers Place, located in Edmonton, Canada. I do not think this is realistic at all for the NBA, but this arena that was built recently, absolutely futuristic interior, the lighting, the ceiling lighting in this is amazing. It looks like a weird, spacecraft, and then just the wall of suites on the interior. Extremely impressive stadium, but again, especially Edmonton, I don't see the NBA going there. It is a shame. It would immediately become one of, if not the best NBA arenas in basketball if they did that. So those are my top 10 arenas for an expansion team. I still think the top 2 options by far, Las Vegas and Seattle. They have 2 of the best arenas right now in the United States, even without an NBA team. And then I would say the KFC Yum Center, very, very nice as well. Louisville, Kentucky would be my 3rd choice for an expansion NBA team if I had to predict. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.